people, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope you like the intro. And let's talk about 6D Mark II. First, I want to say this is not sponsored by Canon or they didn't pay me to do this video. I'm doing this for myself. I will use some materials that they did pay me for, but not to use on my channel. YouTube, you hear that? Okay, now let's talk about 6D. I bought this camera 5 months ago or 4. I'm not sure, like 1 month after it was released. There was a lot of hate going on regarding that camera for 3 reasons, I would say. First reason, no 4K. I don't mind that because probably they would put the same 4K that this 5D Mark IV has, and I don't like motion JPEG. It's really pain in the ass to work with. The files are large and the workflow is terrible, so if you don't have a big hard drives and the computer is not strong, you just don't want to work with it. So I don't miss this kind of 4K, and I know they would probably put the same type of 4K in this camera. Second reason, dynamic range. There were some tests that showed that this camera had even worse dynamic range than the original 6D, but basically it's only worse on the lower ISO till 800 ISO, then after it gets better. But still it's worse than 80D that I really liked. Actually, it has a really nice sensor. I used it for quite a while and the shadows, you could really push them up. And the third reason was not having a dual card slot. That's the only reason that I really mind not having on this camera, and that's the reason this is only a backup camera and my travel and fun camera. I changed my 5D Mark III for this, although 5D Mark III is actually better camera regarding photography for sure, because it has a lot of stuff that is needed for professional photography, and I think the sensor is better. And even in video, if you are like going for a more professional type of video, it's pretty useful, because now with the Magic Lantern hack you can go with 4K RAW in it. But I didn't need that. I have 5D Mark IV that's pretty capable in doing like more serious approach videos with a C-Log installed. And also I have 1DX Mark I, so it's pretty good camera. So why then did I bought this one? The reason why I bought it, I wanted to have a smaller form factor for my backup body, because I barely use it and I want as less weight in my bag as possible. I had last year a lot of problems with my back. I wasn't able to walk for 3 days, and now I'm trying to save weight anywhere that I can. The second reason is just 1DX is so heavy and I don't want to have a 1DX backup. I would prefer this one. Then again, also I bought it for traveling. When I travel or hike or whatever, I just don't want to carry my main camera, 5D Mark IV, and 1DX is again too big for that. So I wanted to have a smaller camera that can produce good quality images. And also I really like the simplicity of the video in this camera. It has a Canon's dual pixel autofocus, which is amazing. It makes everything much easier. It has articulating screen, and that's the only full frame camera that has it currently, and I think this is the smallest DSLR full frame camera. So first of all, I like full frame. For me, there is something better in full frame sensor, just prefer it. In video, I didn't mind the 80D quality, but I couldn't use the full potential of my lenses. I have a lot of full frame lenses, and then when you put it on a crop factor, you lose the angle changes, and there are some things that, especially with the wide angle lenses, you are not able to use the full potential. With this, I can do that, and the form factor is basically almost the same as the 80D. I think it's a bit bigger, just a bit. Cool thing is, if I put 16 to 35, it's a good vlogging setup. It has 60p slow-mo, so it's really useful for like B-rolls. It's not perfect like the 1DX Mark II with 120 frames per second, but 60 is enough for most of the stuff I do. And then again, I think the stabilization inside of this camera is not that bad. It doesn't have a mechanical stabilization, so the sensor is like not moving at all. It's software based. The process is done in the camera with their software. There are two levels of stabilization in this camera. The first level slightly crops the image and it helps to remove all the shakes and everything for like a steady hand, I would say. It's just good enough. You lose a bit of quality but not much, and for YouTube I think you will not notice. Then the second level is terrible. It goes to 720p and I wouldn't recommend it, only maybe if you are like doing really short dynamic shots and then combine them and hide one of those inside of many good shots, maybe it can pass. So last year Canon approached me to do a video and photo for them. I mean, it was small video for a local creation social media channel, so nothing big, and it was like used only I think 1 month. For me it was cool because I got into a contact with some people from Canon, and also that was the time when I bought the 6D, and for me it was really cool that I could use it for assignment. I have to say it was really easy to use it. For video it's really run and gun, just point and shoot. It's pretty simple. If you have a good lens, even with the bed I think it would work pretty well. But I had 24 to 70 2.8 without the image stabilization. It was really easy to work, as you can see in these shots. This is the video I've done for them. And photos, it was even easier. It's just like using any other Canon camera. Actually, regarding photos, I only have two problems. One is that I mentioned, lacking of a dual card slot, and the second is probably the spread of the focus points when using a viewfinder, because they moved the focus system from the 80D to this, and 80D is a crop sensor, so it's a smaller one. They moved the whole system in this where the sensor is larger. The spread is not good. Like, it's so hard to focus on the edges straight away. You have to always move the camera. That I don't like, especially if you're using a wide aperture lens. Basically, these two things are the only things that I don't like. I would prefer they put a different type of focus and two card slots. But for the needs, what I'm using it, it's perfect. So, who would I suggest this camera? I would say this is the best, worst camera ever. If there is so many YouTubers, like Peter McKinnon made a video talking about how this camera is good. Casey Neistat is using it. I would say that's good enough reason for you to buy this camera if you're like thinking about doing a YouTube channel and you're interested in photography. You have more money, you want to improve your game, I would say. But then again, if you're on a budget, I think you can do pretty well with cheap Canon or Sony options like crop factor ones. If you're totally in photography, I would suggest going for Nikon, because I think now it has better sensors and altogether better photo cameras. And if you're into professional videos and you want to still do some photos, or maybe not even do that, you can check 5D Mark III because of the Magic Lantern. It offers you a lot of cool stuff like 4K RAW. It's a bit complicated, but still it works. And then GH5 from Panasonic. And also Sony has really amazing cameras, but you have to be aware, full frame cameras cost, and this is probably one of the cheapest cameras that have full frame sensor, a really good focus, articulating screen, and all together really nice build. So I think this is, if you buy this, you won't be sorry for buying it. But if you're looking for 4K, if that's really important for you, you have to look for Sony or something like that, but be prepared, it will cost more. And then again, at the end, the content is the king. You have to do good content, that's important. Don't do crap like this, do better. And then later invest in good camera equipment. You can do good content with your cell phone. So I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, please smash that like button and also subscribe, share, be a friend. If you didn't like it, smash that dislike button and tell me why you didn't like it. Also, if you have any questions, just ask in the comment section. I will try to respond to them as fast as I can. And if you have any suggestions how to do this better, tell me. I know I'm rather slow, but it's really hard to do this in English and struggling, especially when you have to talk a lot. But I'm getting better each time I do this. See you next time. Bye.